Hello friends and lovers, welcome back, it's Haelian. Today we're going to be going over the new keepsakes that were added in version 1.0 of Hades 2 and kind of discussing how to use them most efficiently as far as I can tell right now. So we do have 3 new keepsakes for ourselves as a quick overview. You get them all post-credits, so you will need to see the credits before you can even get these keepsakes. So the first one is Jewelled Pom from Hades and Persephone. Then you got Zagreus' keepsake, and you have to face him at the Elysium Arena. And then you got Kronos' keepsake, which was the last one I got, but not necessarily going to be the last one that you get. It just kind of depends where you focus here. So you need to see Hades and Persephone in the underworld in Tartarus in order to eventually get this keepsake. You'll need to talk to them several times after the credits and eventually gift them. Zagreus, I think I just beat him twice in the arena, and then he just gave me the keepsake. That's it. For Kronos, I think I had to see him like 3, maybe even 4 times in the underworld. The zone between Erebus and Oceanus is where he usually shows up. That's where you can talk to him and eventually gift him. So if you really want to expedite getting this keepsake, you can just get to that area. If he's not there, or if you did get dialogue from him, you can then just take a death on purpose afterwards, and then just repeat that until you get the keepsake, basically. But anyway, let's talk about what the keepsakes do here. So I guess we might as well talk about what the heck is Fate's Whim here right away, because all 3 of these keepsakes require you to be at the Fate's Whim. And it's sort of just meant to say, like, at the, the behest of RNG, you could say, right? So Fate's Whim on the right, this night you have had 0 rerolls and avoided Olympian summoning keepsakes. So that means that you have to have no rerolls from your Arcana cards active before the run starts. You can have rerolls active on the Arcana cards and then put this keepsake on, but it will simply say inactive. And then it won't let you put it on during the run either when you're at the keepsake cabinet. Also, if you use a god keepsake later on in the run, it will deactivate any keepsakes of these that you've used before. So you wouldn't be able to start a run and then switch to these with the god keepsake. And then if you use a god keepsake later, you might have been able to use some of the benefits of these, but then it will deactivate the forever effect, because all 3 of these effects will last for the entire night. It doesn't say it for Jewelled Pom here, but it actually lingers after you take the keepsake off. But anyway, let's talk about Jewelled Pom in particular. While you're at Fate's Whim, gain a random Hades blessing, and most spoons will have +3 levels. Pretty straightforward here, right? The Hades blessings are interesting. You've probably seen them from Hades himself there in Tartarus. And then all boons will have +3 levels that are pommable. They say most boons because not all boons are pommable, and that's the only reason they give that little asterisk, I guess you could say. So there's not much to say about it, but it's really good. I think this is actually amazing. I like putting this on for the second zone and getting the effect then, personally. What I prefer to do is to have Zagreus' keepsake on first. So Fate's Whim, you can rarefy Olympian blessings up to 6 times this night. 6 is a lot. And you can rarefy the same boon over and over again, by the way. Or you could spread it out. You can save them for later, whatever. You kind of got to know what you're looking for. Saving them for, like, Hermes can be interesting, depending what you're looking for there, potentially. But there's definitely some big boons out there that can definitely be fun to save these rarefies for. And then Timepiece, you can purge most rewards for money up to 4 times this night. Now, the range of value here is $200, 200 gold for a minor item like ash or bones. And then it's randomly between like 400 and 600 for a major reward. So we're talking boons, poms, hexes, things of that nature, I think will be recycled for up to that amount. I think this is the weakest of the 3, obviously. You just don't usually have a lot of uses for that much money. And, it's nice to recycle the bones and the ash for something better, but it's just kind of a lower priority, especially compared to these 2. It's a really fun keepsake, and I'm really glad it's here. I don't think it really needs to get buffed or anything like that, because I just love the idea of it, honestly. But out of the 3, it's definitely got to be the weakest. Anyway, why don't we have some fun, and we'll just use these keepsakes in a run, shall we? So I got Aspect of Momus teed up here, because it kind of works well with something where we don't get to reroll, and we don't get to use god keepsakes, right? I think it just makes a lot of sense to use Aspect of Momus, where you want to use all the different slots available, attack, special, and cast, right? Now, one of the more interesting things about these keepsakes is how much you need to change up your Arcana card selection. It actually makes it way more interesting, I gotta say. As someone who's been using the same Arcana loadout 95% of the time, I think this really switches things up and makes you think about what you want to use. So I even have Artificer on, which I wouldn't normally do. I did leave the Boatman on, and if you use Timepiece, it kind of makes you think, like, do you need Boatman? But I think I want it personally. Got to have the Knight on since we're using Aspect of Momus. After that, kind of the normal stuff. I don't have Wayward Son on. I think we'll be comfortable without it, and that's okay, right? So, I mean, this is definitely a setup, but I'm definitely not locked in like this is what you got to use. If we weren't doing Momus, I might not bother with the Knight. You know, I've even tried Excellence with this, and, you know, it makes sense, kind of. It just really depends. I did want to make sure that we activated a column so that Divinity is on, though. All right, let's just take these new keepsakes out for a spin. We're going to do a very quick run style, so just, you know, speed run setup here. No rivals, sorry if you were hoping for that. Let's head to the underworld. We got Hecuba with us. But yeah, I really love these new keepsakes. I think they're absolutely astonishing. They're really changing up everything about the game, potentially, if you so want. I'm going to be skipping dialogue. I'm just going to hit give up after the run's over, so that way I can read it all later. Big Omega special from Apollo? Yeah, sure. I could never really guarantee getting his legendary. It's 20% per rarity. That's actually pretty good. I think I'm going to accept that, right? I don't know if it's really a big deal, but we'll take it. So I've used up, was it 3 of our rarefies already? I believe so. Now I can spread them out as I see fit. Again, you can actually take this keepsake off and keep the rarefies, you know? And if you're still leveling the keepsake, you can actually earn them back. I'm definitely not going to forget Artificer at all, right? There we go, nice and juicy. Do we want some Aphrodite nice and early? Her attack, her cast. I think the hammer will come back because I think I like Aphrodite for this, potentially. I'm a little concerned about... Whenever I take, like, Apollo's attack or special, I start to get a little concerned about origination, so I definitely want to be very weary of that. Like, I don't know if we really want Aphrodite's attack because of this, basically, you know what I mean? Oh, trust deepened finally with Aphrodite. I'll have to do it again. Yeah, I mean, you could. It's not bad, but I think I'm going to be kind of lame and take an unupgraded Passion Rush here. And I'm kind of okay with it. Ares' attack, huh? I definitely don't want his cast or basically anything else from him, but I think he kind of works here for the most part. I love the premise of these keepsakes where... You know, you're at the whim of the RNG, as they almost literally put it in the descriptions, right? You need to just kind of figure things out, you know what I mean? I really like that premise, and that's what we're being forced to do. I actually used to say, mostly when playing Hades 1, that, you know, I kind of wish that the God Keepsakes actually didn't exist a little bit, you know? Because I didn't want to be incentivized to start... you know, a high difficulty run or some kind of challenge, right? I didn't want to be incentivized to start that run with, say, Athena's keepsake to make sure that I get her dash, you know? So this actually makes things really interesting. Ooh, a big success rate. So there go all my rarefies, but that's already at 60%. That's going to affect... what's that going to affect exactly? Right now, just mutual destruction. Maybe we can find more. We would like Zeus in this build. Won't lie. His attack. Stormring's a bit iffy again because of origination purposes. I'm just going to go to the shop, though, anyway. I can't really tell how much these keepsakes are going to shake up some things here, you know? Is it really going to be that big of a deal for... speed runs or high fear runs? I think they will be kind of a big deal, but maybe not in the ways that we're kind of hoping, I suppose. I kind of just don't know yet. Let's try to get this origination happening, shall we? By going this way. Man, you got me. Send him back. You gotta remember I'm playing Momo. Got him, eventually. Because it might just mean you're resetting in, like, Chamber 1 a lot more now.
Yes.
Potentially, instead of resetting later on. The thing is, I don't know how other runners feel, but you might not really like that, is the truth. You might not really want that. If you don't even have the promise to start a run, you know, you have to kind of reset that run in Chamber 1 20 times before you get the exact god you want to show up, or the exact boon that you want to show up for, say, a speed run. I don't know if that's really good for the meta, you know, if that becomes the fastest way to do it is to use these keepsakes, but you have to make sure you get the exact right thing in the first room, right? I don't know. I'm not sure, honestly. Cast damage, huh? Well, I don't really want the top one. I'm gonna hope that we can make do with this. Artificer, Artificer, Artificer. I don't have Wayward Son, so I gotta keep that in mind. So I probably gotta be a bit more cautious than I have been. Woo! Sometimes whenever I use the Omega Special with a staff, I just think I'm using Anubis, and I gotta be careful about sucking the enemies toward me. We might run out of magic here at this rate to some degree. It might be a bit of a problem. We're just hoping that a solution will kind of come along eventually. Not really in a big rush, I guess you could say. We do technically have origination solved here, yeah. Yeah, I think I like Zagreus's Keepsake first the most, to really control that first core boon you get. You could consider, of course, doing... let's see. Do I want more from Ares? No, not anymore. I got Mutual Destruction. That's kind of it, actually. Goodbye. Since I couldn't get Grievous Blow anymore. Maybe a Weed Killer is okay. Do I really want Tranquil Gain? Ooh, I'm not so sure about that. I probably don't want Weed Killer unless I solve the magic problem, huh? You certainly could do that. Steady Growth at Common is so bad. Can we all agree? At Common, it's just really bad, I think. And we kind of got good rarities on most of the things that we care about anyway. All right, I guess I am doing that. I think I like his first, because getting those high rarities early on is kind of important, right? The +3 levels from Mommy and Daddy. Get her. Okay, eventually got it. Oh man, that reduced sprint is going to be a problem when we're about to face off against the sheep ball here. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. I'm trying to dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, we did it. I'm kind of surprised. It is mostly about dashing, but nevertheless. I think I like Zags more, but yeah, you could definitely do the other one, potentially. I think you can kind of go either way. For Timepiece from Chronos, you could take off Boatman and earn a lot of money early on, but the problem I foresee is just you don't need that much money most of the time. Now, I think Timepiece might be more interesting on the surface, where you have the Shrines of Hermes and thus just a lot more opportunities to spend money, potentially. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. So now we're just going to go Jewelled Pom, kind of go down the line. We'll use Timepiece for the third zone, which kind of makes sense. Life tax is gained from Daddy now. I've only used this probably, well, a good like 6 or 7 times, I'm going to say now. And I've yet to see it give me the Chronos-specific ones, like Chronos loses HP or something like that. Oh, I guess I have to talk to him. I'll probably cut this out, honestly. All right, that is done, so let's see here. Nothing else we really want now. We want to save our cash unless I really need it for something else. Don't need that jerky, really. Nothing to sell. Tranquil Gain it is, baby. In terms of high fear, these keepsakes, it might have a similar problem, right? It'll be kind of fun to see if you can kind of do back-to-back runs with these, though. You know what I mean? So that way, you can't guarantee a specific reward in Chamber 1 and thus just be on easy street with some kind of meta build necessarily, right? You can't guarantee it might happen sometimes, but not all the time. So maybe that could be quite fun from that perspective when you're trying to do several runs in a row and just get a win kind of thing, right? That's my first inclination. I always craved that in Hades 1 to have that sort of thing, you know. I always cite this, and it's not a good example probably, but I always wish that the Hades community had a competitive scene similar to like Slay the Spire, where there's this sort of competition going on around, you know, winning a bunch of times in a row by going through all the different characters and things like that. I always kind of wish that we had that. So no plus boons here. Racing Thoughts. Yeah, I don't think Stutter Step's going to be very important here. I mean, I want boons for Mom Pom, but I guess I'm going to go take our first hammer finally. I know I turned it down earlier, but it was worth it. I hope. Okay, what do we got now? Not exactly what I hoped for. I don't think Cross Cataclysm is very interesting. Rapid Moonshot doesn't mean much to us, though, at the end of the day, right? Unless I start using my regular special very often, but maybe not. Yeah, this one's kind of boring, but it does do the work. You know what? I don't like Cross Cataclysm, but let's be funny. Let's be daring, shall we? So the +3 Poms is not going to affect something like Chaos or Hermes, in case that's not obvious, because you cannot level those up. You cannot Pom those, I should say. Whoopsie. Cross Cataclysm, go! Can't even see Tony. Found him. Found him eventually there. Life Tack's actually healing me for quite a bit. I do have 2 Frenzy on, so I'm going to get dinged and donged here left and right a little bit. Okay, so look at those levels, huh? Level 4 and everything. We did get cast damage from Chaos, so maybe Solar Ring is acceptable. It's also a potentially easier origination than having to deal with hitting something with Passion Rush, which isn't quite as good. I mean, I do like the perfect image there, though, I'll say. But let's take our Chaos Gate. Chaos Gates are probably a lot scarier when you have no rolls, though. So you definitely got to be careful about this. I mean, I think this one's free for us, so I'm going to go for that. I will have to fight Skilla, though. Like that, almost certainly, at this rate. Okay, so at least now we have a bit more of an AoE with Cross Cataclysm. Come on, send him back. Okay, that was actually shockingly easy. Not Passion Rush game. I'm actually going to take the free max health given our max health situation here. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these keepsakes. Maybe there's because, I mean, this is still relatively new to me. This is only the 3rd day after release now that I'm recording this. And so there's just a lot more to kind of process and think about. Use cases to experiment with and things like that. Super excited for it. I love things that are going to change up the gameplay like this, you know? You can't really stack up Cross Cataclysm is my understanding and make it hit the same enemy more than once. Unfortunately. Send her back. Okay, there we go. Easy peasy. I think this fight is actually really cool without rivals on, to be clear. I think it's well balanced in terms of the imperviousness, whereas not every boss battle feels super fluid and it feels like you're just waiting around very often. Okay, so again, we get to keep the Jewelled Pom effect while we put on the timepiece. So it will stay here, so all boons will be level 3, and obviously we keep this Hades boon as well. Technically, the Zagreus effect is out there, but because I use up all the rarefies, it doesn't really matter. You know, keeping all of that.
Long way down.
So now we get to do some recycling. By the way, at the end of this video, I'm just going to show you my reaction to finding timepiece in case you want to kind of see that. Just for fun kind of thing, you know? In case you're interested. But I also wanted something where we just kind of discuss the keepsakes, you know? So I mostly wanted to turn the minor rewards in for money here. So my main thing with this keepsake is they got rid of a duo boon called Golden Rule not long ago in early access, which gave you damage from money. You know, kind of like Hoarding Slash in Hades 1. And that duo boon, like, it went through a few iterations. There was a brief moment it was really good, but for the most part, it was always not great. But now it's like, it could have been great if they let us have it, but they got rid of it, you know what I mean? They had to get rid of it right before this came out. And I'm like, no! Come on, we could have been having fun out here. I think that's kind of too bad to say the least, right? We're not going to purge that. Where's the tree? There might have been another minor reward in here, but I am a lazy man. We'll take this.
Oh, yes.
Someone asked what happens if you get the rerolls from Narcissus with these, and I don't know what would happen, honestly. Okay, but how are you so good at the game? Turn in on a dime. I'm not going to purge Apollo either. We'll take that perfect image now. Supernova would have been funny, but not good. I'm still going to just take Echo. I'm not going to go out of my way to use the timepiece. I guess this keepsake might be good if you're farming
Hello.
the end game mats, you know, and you want to make that purchase. Trying to think here. Give me that. If you're trying to make that last purchase in the final shop for the big mat, you know, so to speak. Level 4 supernova is just funny. Can we agree? Oh, I only got 2 rewards on these. That's kind of interesting. Well, I certainly don't want the money. We could purge Selene just to be funny.
Ashes, gold.
Ashes, gold. Can I do this one? We can. That's good. We got Nemesis.
Just in time.
Come on, Nem, get him.
Don't need assistance from me.
Bo-do-do-do-do. High Fear is kind of a similar thing, right? Like, rolls are very powerful to make sure you start with the right things. Maybe, in particular, I'm thinking the Jewelled Pom might kind of make up for that. Not sure yet. It depends how high we're going, obviously. You know what I mean? But
No use.
give me my stuff. I guess she's gone. I don't even know where she went. Okay, let's get him, baby. Go, Supernova. If you got good ideas or like a goofy run to do with these, please do tell me.
My mother's strength.
Please do. My first run with Mom Pom was with Persephone Squared, and I thought that was fun because the Pom levels do stack up there. Oh, damn, no more minor rewards, huh? Ham. This is our second hammer. I'm not purging it for $500, though. Let's see. I think Wicked Thrasher is always the best out of that. It's one of the best hammers I think you can get here. No Mirrored Thrasher for us.
You're all mired up again.
The ongoing joke is that every build suggestion I get is usually Mirrored Thrasher plus anything. You could combine it with, like, anything. There's a juicy build suggestion. Okay. Oh. Dodge it. Come on, I gotta practice this. They died? Maybe I left something down. I don't know. I'll be. Moments is a really fun aspect when you're playing relatively low amounts of fear here still. It definitely starts to struggle as the enemies get more mobile and things like that, though. And you have less time to really lay down Omegas and be casting Omegas all the time. Is the way I feel about it. It's still a really good time, though. It's still, like, in terms of fun factor, I know I'm not allowed to rank things on fun factor anymore, but it's up there for me, is what I would say. It is up there.
This is it.
So now you can just use whatever keepsake you want now. You could technically... You could have left something on, but why would you, right? You know, there's no real point in doing that as far as I can tell. So I guess what we could do here... Gosh, there's quite a few options here. But why don't we just go for the hammer because it's fun? Rapid Moonshot, so our specials are faster. Not probably that interesting. I'm going to have lots of money. Success rate. Was there something I could have done to make success rate more interesting here for us? Because 60% is cool, right? But maybe not...
Here goes.
Where it's not super effective when I don't have a lot of boons that are affected by it. Let's finish it. I'm probably not going to do a lot of extra rooms here because what's the point? But yeah, you can see the timepiece is still down there in the bottom left.
Your contributions to our clean effort are appreciated, daughter.
Yeah, we could still use a God keepsake. It might not be a terrible idea to... I can see some things happening where you start with, say... Zag or Mom's keepsake, but you still use a God keepsake in Zone 2. You lose the effect again, but you got it at the most important time, which is the very beginning of the run, right? So I feel like maybe that might be something that's still quite useful. But the whole starting with no rerolls thing, right? What do you think? Rerolls are an incredibly powerful effect. I think one of the things I got feedback about is that rerolls and God keepsakes allow us as a community to kind of work together to have cool builds and share them and then imitate them, right? And I think that's really important. I'm going to cut out most of this for y'all. So you can have 2 Hades boons, by the way. Life tax got used up for us, so it's gonzo, basically. I wonder if you could technically get it offered back. I don't actually know, to be honest. Not sure. Haven't seen it enough time to really say. Like I said, I haven't seen the game offer or give me one of the Chronos-specific buffs, so either maybe it's cut out, or maybe it just works on different bosses besides Chronos. But yeah, there's a lot of questions like Deep Descent, Chronos gets fewer ads, right? How is that going to work? If you get it at the very start of a run, you got to wonder a little bit. And that's where I guess I'm not really positive. Not sure. Hey now. How dare you touch me? That mutual destruction. Hopefully doing quite a bit. Good reason to get a lot more health here if we can. Apollo's cast kind of looks like it's not doing bad here. He could give us backburner still, which would be kind of funny. So I'll do the mini-boss since it's relatively quick, right? Make sure we freeze him first as we do this. Get this back out. Just straight up attacking might be a little bit better. There's probably not going to be a reward that I used the last purge for. Oh my god. I wasn't paying attention to the prereqs because I just assumed I wasn't going to get them. Well, alright then. Alright then. No need for that money. That sounds pretty good to me with Momus, huh? Now these are going to trigger twice. Been a while since I had it with Momus, honestly. Coolest legendary in the game? Probably. It's one of the more transformative ones. F's legendary is very cool, I will say. This one, it feels like, you know, you could do a run with every single aspect and have, like, a kind of a fun run out of it, you know? So I think that's what I like. Holy Apollo. Golly. Tall order, but I don't have enough. You know, and there's no way for me to get enough, so I guess we're taking hasty retreat there. Back burner, let's go.
I need this.
Blinding rush instead? No? Self-healing, I suppose. A big back burner there, baby. Let me in, let me in. Let's finish it. Let's finish it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I said it all, but I love these keepsakes. It makes sense. I think it's going to add a whole new way to kind of play the game differently. Like Judgment felt kind of like the kind of thing that was supposed to add a weird variety style run to it, but it felt not totally fleshed out, I guess is how I would describe it. Now these, on the other hand, really changes things. Judgment plus these? I mean, you could, but then what if Judgment activates the rerolls? I guess I'm going to assume that like they stopped working, so you probably don't want to do it. That's going to be my guess, personally. Well, things got too expensive for Tranquil Gain here. Don't worry, the frozen... Oh, whoops, I thought you were up here for some reason. Get him, come on! Cross Cataclysm, please. Make sure we get this back. Don't you dare block that. Alright, now I stand still for a little while. Come on, dude. Oh, you got me, technically. Eventually got there. He's going to sit still here, which might be helpful for me. I think Tranquil Gain works even during the transition here, but... Oh! I tried to get through it. Oh, he's at half. Oh, God, there's too many things happening at once. Finish him, come on! Got him. All right, there we go. Super cool. Super cool, you know?
It shall not hurt at all.
Don't worry about that, in case you don't know what's going on. I do have a criticism here about how runs kind of happen after the credits, which is that it's hard to do them without some spoilers going on, sadly. You know what I mean? It's hard. I'm trying to think of solutions there, though. But let me show you the build here. I mean, you can see 2 of the keepsakes going on, right? But yeah, I mean, what was the build? I don't even know if success rate was particularly important here. I mean, you can see the Omega Attack, Omega Special did the most. Cast wasn't really that big of a deal. It's kind of just Momus. Plus, I mean, we didn't even get the best hammers. I guess Wicked Thrasher is good, though, right? If I can find that one. Yeah, that one was kind of the only one that really mattered. We didn't get Mirrored Thrasher. We didn't even get Rapid Thrasher. But yeah, that's basically the build, you know? Hope that makes sense. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the little extra bit here of us finding this for the first time and my initial reaction to Timepiece in particular. In case you missed it, I do have another video where I found the other 2 keepsakes and we showed that off. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Unseen Ire gained. Finally!
Grandfather, the wounds our family has suffered perhaps shall never truly heal, but you've at least tried to take some of the initial steps. So here, this is for you.
Oh, what a precious bottle. Thank you, granddaughter. Nectar from Olympus. But it does look rather good. The custom now is to provide some sort of gift in kind, is that not so? And here, if you please.
We got it, baby!
What an unusual
Timepiece.
device,
Holy
and made of
shit.
gold. Thank you.
Alright, here we go. Timepiece. While at the Fate's Whim, you can purge most rewards for money up to 2 times this night. Wait, can I purge Selene, please? Yo, just to find out, I can, for some reason, I can envision that Amir's just like, no, make them use the hexes.
Stay where
You know what I mean? We spent a lot of time on these hexes. Oh!
Moon,
Oh.